Hello everyone, this is me, Debosmita Sarkar. Today we are going to talk about atoms and molecules. So let's begin. Introduction. Atoms and molecules are responsible for forming tiny sand particles, gargantuan black holes, and everything in between. The atom is the most fundamental unit of matter, making up everything that we see around us. It is extremely small, measuring at less than zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.5 nanometers. Laws of chemical combination. Chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, two or more molecules interact to produce new compounds and are called reactants, whereas the newly formed compounds are called products. In a chemical reaction, a chemical change must occur, which is generally observed with physical changes like precipitation, heat production, color change, etc. Law of conservation of mass. According to the law of conservation of mass, matter can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. It remains conserved. Mass of reactants will be equal to the mass of products. Law of constant proportion. A pure chemical compound containing the same elements combined together in a fixed proportion by mass is given by the law of definite proportion. For example, if we take water from a river or form an ocean, both have oxygen and hydrogen in the same proportion. The elements are present in chemical compounds in a predetermined mass ratio. The law of constant proportion is this. This law constant proportion is also known as the Proust law or the law of defined proportion. For instance, the oxygen and hydrogen contained in pure water is always in 1:8. Atoms. An atom is the defining structure of an element which cannot be broken by any chemical means. The atomic symbol has three parts: the symbol X, the usual element symbol, the atomic number A equal to the number of protons, the number Z is equal to the total number of protons and neutrons in any element. Atomic radius. This distance between an atom's nucleus and other electron shell, the new atomic radius, is calculated by measuring the distance between the nuclei of two identical atoms bounded together. Half this distance is the atomic radius. Dalton's atomic theory. According to the Dalton's atomic theory, atoms, which are indestructible and indivisible building blocks, make up all substances. Unlike other elements which have atoms of different sizes and weights, an element's atom have all the same size and mass, means it's identical. Dalton proposed that the concept of atoms could be used to explain the laws of conservation of matter and definite proportions. He proposed that atoms, which he described as solid, massy, hard, impenetrable moving particles, are the smallest indivisible units of life. The matter is made up of indivisible particles known as atoms. The properties of all atoms of a given element are the same, including mass. This can be also stated as all the atoms of an element having identical mass and chemical properties. Atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. Atoms of different elements combine in fixed ratio to form compounds. Atoms are neither created nor destroyed. The formation of a new compound results from the rearrangement of existing products, existing atoms, which are reactants in a chemical reaction. Their relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. Dalton's atomic theory. This is the pictography of the box that we learned just in the previous slide. So here 16 mass unit is added to 2 mass unit, which equals to 18 mass unit. Atomic mass and atomic mass unit. Atomic mass is the total of the mass of an electron, neutron and proton in an atom or in a group of atoms, the average mass. Mass of an atomic particle is called the atomic mass. This is commonly expressed as per the international agreement in terms of a unified mass unit mu. It can be best defined as 1 by 2 of the mass of a carbon-12 atom in its ground state. First it was hydrogen, then it was changed to oxygen, then after that it is changed to carbon. Molecular mass. The molecular mass of an element is defined as the sum of the mass of the elements present in the molecule. The molecular mass is obtained by multiplying the atomic mass of an element by the number of atoms in the molecules and then adding the masses of all the elements in the molecules. Molecule. The smallest identifiable unit into which a pure substance may be divided while retaining its composition and chemical properties is a molecule, which is a collection of two or more atoms. Molecules of elements. A molecule is a collection of two or more chemically bound atoms, whether they form the same element or another. For example, when two hydrogen atom H2 and one oxygen atom O2 atom interact, one water molecule H2O is created. Molecules of compounds. Salts and molecular compounds are the two categories into which compounds can be divided. Covalent bonds hold the atoms together in molecular molecules. Ionic bonds hold it together in salt. Every compound is composed of one of these two types of bonds. Actually, a compound is a kind of molecule. The atoms that join together must be distinct from one another for the substance to qualify as a compound. O2, for instance, is a molecule, not a compound, due to its atomic connection with another oxygen atom. NaCl, however, is a compound since it is made up of two distinct atoms that are chemically bound together. Mole concept and Avogadro number. In a substance, the amount of entities present, that is atoms, molecules, ion, is defined as a mole. A mole of any substance is 6.200 to 1023 molecules. Mole concept is one of the most convenient way of expressing the amount of reactants and products in the reaction. The value of Avogadro numbers is approximately 6.002, 022, 1023. The definition of Avogadro number is that it tells us the number of particles in one mole of a substance. These particles could be electrons or molecules or atoms. Molar mass. A substance is something which has mass and occupies space. The molar mass or molecular weight is actually the sum of the total mass in grams of the atoms present to make up a molecule per mole. The unit of molar mass is grams per mole. Molecules and atomicity. A molecule is defined as the smallest unit of a compound that contains the chemical properties of the compound. The atomicity of an element is the number of atoms in one molecule of the element. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, iodine and bromine all have two atoms in each of the molecules. So, the atomicity of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, iodine and bromine is 2 each. Structure of atom. Atom is made up of three particles, electron, proton and neutron. The center of the atom is called the nucleus. The nucleus of an atom contains the whole mass of an atom. Electron is an atom are arranged in shells or orbitals. So let me show you which are the nucleus. Okay, the atom, which is the proton, electron and neutron. So this is the nucleus. These are the electrons. See, electron is an atom in an atom arranged in shells or orbitals. So these are the electrons and here is the proton and neutron. Valency. Valence electrons are those electrons which are present in the outermost orbit of the atom. The capacity of an atom to lose, gain or share valence electron is in order to complete its octet determines the valency of the atom. Now we will see the writing chemical formulae. Compounds. When two or more elements chemically combine in a fixed ratio by mass, the obtained product is known as a compound. Compounds are substances consisting of two or more different types of elements in a fixed ratio of its atom. Ions. An ion is defined as an atom or molecule which has gained or lost one or more of its valence electrons, giving it a net positive or negative charge. A negatively charged particle is called an anion, and a positively charged particle is called a cation. Ionic compounds chemical formula. Each constituent element in a chemical formula is identified by its chemical symbol along with the relative number of atoms that make up each element. These ratios are used in empirical equations to start with a key element and then assign atom counts for the remaining elements in the compound in relation to the key element. Ionic compounds are chemical compounds in which ions are held together by specialized bonds called ionic bonds. An ionic compound always contains an equal amount of positive and negative charge. For example, in calcium chloride, the ionic bond is formed by oppositely charged calcium and chloride ions. Calcium ion loses 2 electrons and attains the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas Ar. By doing so, it gains a net charge of +2. Here is argon. Now the 2 chlorine atoms stay here. This is the A. Now I will just give you the explanation of these 2 images or diagrams. The 2 chlorine atoms take 1 electron each, thus gaining a charge of -1 each, and attaining the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas argon. Now we will see the most frequently asked questions. So what is the difference between atoms and molecules? This is the most asked question. Atoms refer to the most basic or smallest unit of a chemical elements that cannot be broken further, and molecules are composed of 2 or more atoms which are held together. Who was Dalton? John Dalton was an English chemist and physicist, and he was best known for his atomic theory. He was born in a poor weaver's family, and there he started his course as a teacher, and after 7 years he was being a principal, and then he moved to teach in colleges, and there he found the atomic theory. What is a mole? Mole is a standard unit for measuring the amount of any substance. So with this we came to the end. Thank you. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to comment in the comment section below. Bye bye. Stay home, stay safe.